for the Wanderers. He's offside, Mitch Duke, as that ball was played into him. Now, you'd expect a reaction from Perth. In that midfield area, Kilkenny and Wilson need to get a stranglehold in there.
The ricochet out towards Otter, and another ricochet back to Castro. Can Perth pay it all off? As Keogh went down, didn't appeal for a penalty, and Duke's onside here. Oh, what a touch! He's around Bodnar. Mitch Duke against Reddy. What a finish! He scores either side of half-time. Mitch Duke back in form, back in Western Sydney, and it's 2-0. The Wanderers over the Glory.
And that long diagonal catches them out again. It's a quick counter. And the young boy Bodnar got done by experience there. Brilliant play from Mitchell Duke. Great use of the body, physical strength. And he gets himself into a position. There's the diagonal. Is it Bacchus? Bodnar loses Duke, gets him on the wrong side, then bounces him away. And you think, do you have to finish from there? And it's quite an extraordinary finish from Mitchell Duke. He's able to take this touch because Bodnar's out of the equation. Brilliant finish, Reddy no chance. And that's the worst start to the second half for Perth Glory.
What about his goal-scoring record as a Wanderer? 22 in 43 games. There weren't too many goals when he was a Mariner. He was there for his energy and was still learning his craft. But since he's been a Western Sydney Wanderer, he's been going at better than a goal every other game. And again, the cheers as the goal stands and VAR does not have to weigh in. And now he wins it cleanly. No, he didn't. The referee with the late whistle after he caught a little bit of Bodnar.
Yeah, just lost him, the young player. It's a lesson. It's an expensive one for Perth.
Castro probing. Inga uses Wilson. There's numbers inside the area. If Wilson can fashion a cross. Margush elects to punch. Otter quickly back in, and that's an important stretch by McGowan because Fornaroli was lurking. But away they go again. Look how high up the pitch Perth are here. If Abini can pull the right rein, in the end he gets the whistle.
Oh, he just couldn't get his head up. They kept his head down, but there was opportunities there. If he could have slipped one in, they're leaving themselves very open, Perth.
He got the memo at half-time. The guy doing the goal count, his mates told him, who'd been watching the Fox Sports coverage at home, mate, you're too short. And he corrected it to 19, and now he's added the 20th for Mitch Duke. Great to hear the RBB back in full voice. Wilmering, first time ball out to Duke. Bacchus bounces it right through the middle. They're through again here. Abini has options, and the challenge came from Latchford. Now he's got to tap in. James Troisi. Flag goes up late. Interesting.
Is it for Troisi?
It must be against Abini earlier in the move. Otherwise, the goal will stand because Latchman played it to Troisi, and that's what they're sorting out at the moment. I feel like the only way the goal doesn't stand if it's against Abini.
The original run from Abini. Well, we don't know what's going to happen here, but Perth are leaving themselves way too open and high, and the Wanderers are picking them to pieces.
It was such a clever first-time ball by Bacchus to release Abini, and we wait to see whether he was on or off this time. There's Bernie Abini making his move. He's well and truly onside. So I can't see how this goal won't stand. It should be 3-0 Western Sydney. Well, for Beanie or Troisi, it doesn't. Latchman, it doesn't matter. He's behind the ball.
Oh, Troisi's onside. This looks like it should be one in their favour.
And this is where the VAR is great, isn't it, Robbie?
Brilliant.
A goal was going to be ruled out by the assistant if we didn't have VAR. But in a moment, it will stand. Daniel Elder getting talked through it by Craig's header. And that ball will soon be returning to halfway, and Troisi has been gifted a tap-in goal. Surely. Goal stands.
There he goes, so open. Perth Glory. Latchman does his best. Comes off a Beanie, but Troisi's behind him. So that was quite an easy one for the VAR.
Now, what a scoreline. Western Sydney, it loomed as a massive week for them to play on a Monday night and play on a Friday night, back-to-back A-League fixtures involving them here at home. If they could bank 6 points out of 6, they'd be second outright with a bullet. And at the moment, it looks like that is very much the case. After that remarkable win against Wellington, they are playing Perth off the pitch at the moment. That high line is backfiring for the Glory. Kilkenny brought it down. And now Keogh slides it through. D'Agostino wasn't expecting it. He was through and onside. Dorrans cuts out Ingham's pass. And this was 0-0 in the 47th minute of the first half, remember, before Mitch Duke popped up on the end of a Troisi pass. Now it's 3-0, Mark Bosnich.
As I said before, the joys of VAR. So exactly right, there you go. If we didn't have VAR, that would not have been awarded as a goal. So well done to all the officials involved. The assistant referee did exactly the right thing. You let it go, then you put your flag up as you thought it was offside, and it was corrected by VAR. But just a special word for Western Sydney Wanderers, that win against Wellington. Will that be a win that we look back on, you know, during the season? So that was a real turning point. We saw the confidence from pretty much the beginning, the directness and the confidence in each other. And that's so important, to have confidence in good players. Because what you're saying to your teammate is, I know exactly what you want, I know exactly what you can get, and also I'm happy to give you the ball in any situation. In terms of Perth, it's got to be a little bit careful here, and they might mind to maybe take a couple extra metres back, because they're getting cut to pieces with the ball in behind. So Latchman and Bodnar might just go maybe at least 5 metres a little bit further deep to cover themselves with that.
Deflection on the Castro cross.
They should have done that before, because unfortunately it's a little bit too late.
They can't get Sebastian Langkamp into this lineup quickly enough. Recruited to give real steel to that defence with all his experience in Germany. But unfortunately suffered a fractured wrist recently as well. So he's still a couple of weeks away to partner Latchman in the heart of defence. Perth won't feel they're out of it. They can turn it around with all the attacking talent they have. Castro appeals for a penalty and then quickly falls silent. A little careless, that pass from Tate Russell. Castro opening up the angle and tried to surprise Margush at that near post, as he does so often.
Well, he had to go near post because the far post was blocked off by the defender. It's not a handball. And then he had another chance in the second phase of that attack. Here it is here, where it slipped in, and we got cut off. But he went for that near post because Tate Russell, I think it was, blocked off the far post.
I feel like he's gone early here, but the flag stays down again for Duke. Looking for Troisi, you found him. Still Troisi. Dorrans goes back out to the overload on that right-hand side. Dane Ingham. And now we have offside a long way after the event against Duke. Poor pass from D'Agostino there, looking a little ragged, the Glory. We've had the full week in New South Wales after flying out for the Mariners fixture last weekend. They've been staying in Darling Harbour for the last few days after being in Terrigal initially. Ingham pushing on. Castro taking on Bacchus. Late run made here by Wilson into the area. Well found by Ingham, and big chance here for Keogh. And what a block it is by the man who leads the comp in block shots. That's one of his best, Ziggy Gordon.
Well, it's point blank, isn't it? I think it's a mishit shot from Brandon Wilson. It's definitely a shot. Keogh thinks, I've got a gift here. Pops up nicely for him. Just had to wait a little bit too long, but that's superb defending from Ziggy Gordon.
What about the celebration from Ziggy Gordon as well? That's as good as a goal. And they got around him, all of his teammates. As Kilkenny delivers, Keogh had another chance. Now Fornaroli with the bicycle kick to earn another corner. Watch the celebrations from Ziggy Gordon. You got to love this. Beats playing chess for a living, the former Scottish school chess champion. Much more fun to enjoy it with teammates out there on the football pitch. Now from the corner routine, Bernie Abini in the road as Otter didn't really get hold of his strike. See, Latchman is the last line of defence there from a corner situation, Robbie. Are you surprised that a big man like that doesn't go forward for set pieces?
Well, they obviously do their set piece routine, so he wasn't in that one.
Ingham gets the better of Natta. Lovely move. Oh, key touch by Margush this time, and Dorrans hacks it out of play. And if Margush doesn't get a touch on that, it may well be back to 3-1.
Well, you can't ask more of Ingham. Stands up his defender, drops the shoulder, and he's around him. Drives to the near post, and look at this. Wow. So close for Perth Glory. It's their best situation in this second half.
Kilkenny delivers. Bodnar is the centre half they commit forward. And couldn't direct a header on goal as Richard Garcia goes to his bench. And it's Andy Keogh off, Carlo Armiento on. Keogh is the record goal scorer in this fixture with 6, but it wasn't his night. Armiento sent out to the left flank. Castro up top alongside Fornaroli. D'Agostino on the right-hand side, the away end for the Glory. Looking for some inspiration, looking for a comeback to be mounted. The 90. Kilkenny delivers towards that far post again. Latchman had gone forward but was blocked off quickly on that occasion. Lovely ball out for Troisi. Didn't sense Castro. remember, the Wanderers haven't beaten Perth in more than 1,250 days. Not since Oriol Riera and Jumpe were the goal scorers in round 1, 2017. D'Agostino. Otter can use Armiento, and that wand of a left boot he has. Just stumbled as he looked to deliver.
Yeah, you see Wanderers more relaxed now. They're sitting back and quite happy to hit on the counter with that 3-0 goal buffer.
Matter's ball out, chopped off by Kilkenny. There's decent signs here for the Glory. If they can get one back, they could yet make a game of this. But the Wanderers remain a real threat. What a ball, Troisi. Duke is around ready. There's an empty net. Oh, the composed finish just wouldn't go in to complete the hat-trick.
Just the angle got too much for him. Too difficult. Brilliant run again, and they just don't sense it. Perth, they're just getting cut to pieces by that ball in behind every time, and it's just bending the wrong way. It was a very difficult angle, so close to his hat-trick.
If an opposition plays a high line against you and man for man you're quicker than the defence, are your eyes lighting up? And is it the right play by the team that's slower, in effect, to play that high line?
Well, the fact that they're controlling the ball at the moment and means they have to push up to the halfway line, but it's how you're watching your players. It becomes an individual thing. No, it's quite simple. If someone in midfield, which we've seen, is picking up the ball and is able to lift their head, then you drop off. If their head's down and they're keeping their heads down, then you can be tight. But if a midfielder picks up, or a defender even deeper, picks the ball up, can get his head up, then you drop off against a quicker opponent in particular.
You saw the frustration from Richard Garcia on the sideline as D'Agostino couldn't wrap his boot around that. Perth have got a lot of games coming up in quick succession. I mentioned midweek next week against Sydney FC, and then 3 days later they'll take on the Jets. Both of those games at home. They do have a lot of home games to come, but at the moment not a lot of time on the training pitch. So Castro wide of Margush's goal. They have to do most of their work in video sessions.
Castro picks this ball up, and I think Margush made it look a little bit closer than it actually was. He's out there talking a lot as well, and going to his place. Keep going, keep believing.
Gordon wasn't allowing Armiento to turn there. Real determination about the way the Wanderers are defending tonight. Can they keep a clean sheet? More pace about to come off their bench as well as Ingham. Lovely shape on that one, but just too close to Margush.
Yeah, off the boot it looked good, didn't it? And Margush was out quickly off his line to smother it.
Double change coming up for both teams. Yeboah and Kamau, who have been fantastic coming off the bench for Carl Robinson. There'll be no hat-trick tonight for Mitch Duke, but it's just the second brace in the history of this fixture. What a night he's had.
Yeah, and you see that's his second goal. Steadied himself and dispatched it past Reddy. The first goal, of course, was that header on the stroke of half-time, so we can't say it yet because plenty of time going, but plenty of time to go, but potentially a match-winning performance from Mitchell Duke.
They've got a full week to get ready for their next match. What a massive one it is as well. Melbourne City away next week in this same time slot. Bernie Abini, fantastic again tonight. A shake of the head, it could have been anything for Bernie, but he's more than played his part. And on comes Bruce Kamau, who's been fantastic, getting into goal-scoring areas. Daniel Steins is on for Perth. So too is Callum Timmins in midfield. Clever switch by Bacchus. The ball out by Latchman for Fornaroli to get Armiento involved. Not a lot in the box at the moment. D'Agostino was one of the players withdrawn just now. And Otter. Awkward for Margush. Did just enough to keep Fornaroli at bay.
Yeah, you just think there is Fornaroli a little bit on his heels. Good ball in from the left. You see, just a little bit of hesitation. I thought he could have nipped in front there and got himself a toe poke.
Timmins trying to tease one through. There's appeals for handball. When changes are made in a big way, the game tends to open up, as we've seen right throughout the season. 200 goals already scored this A-League season after 3 for Western Sydney tonight. Kamau looks over his shoulder. Yeboah in the middle. Decent ball in by Kamau, but just wrong-footed his strike partner. Missed out on tying the record for getting to 200 goals the quickest by one game this season. 2017-18 season was the quickest to the 200 goal milestone, but not too far behind.
You see Wanderers 5 across the back, sitting not too deep but nice and compact, making it difficult for Perth to play through them.
Castro against Wilmering, bounces it off Steins, then left it behind. That was a decent one too. And now Yeboah testing out Bodnar. He's got Kamau making up ground in the middle. Beautiful play by Kwame Yeboah. Still going. Kamau taking on Latchman. Tate Russell's popped up. He made a brilliant run to the back post from the right wing-back position, but in the end, Latchman got it out for the corner.
Yeah, good defending in the end. Kamau flicks it around, and Yeboah is in offside position. Intelligently didn't get involved. Credit where credit's due. It's a good intervention from the big central defender.
of the game, delivered by Troisi. McGowan trying to get on the end of it. Latchman away for Dorrans. He's upset with himself.
Yeah, probably went for too much power here and forgot a little bit about the technique. A wild lash at it. Sometimes if you just take a little bit off it and concentrate on the technique of striking that ball, you might get a better result. Of course, it's always easy from up here.
Look at the live ladder. The Wanderers closing within 3 points of the Mariners. They do have a game in hand on Western Sydney. And Perth staying there in 9th. This is their 10th game of the campaign. I can't wait for all those catch-up games at home to come. First-year coach Richard Garcia, a few headaches at the back at the moment. Go down to Mark Bosnich, see what he's making of it all.
Well, right this moment in time, it's quite simple. Just Western Sydney Wanderers are just a little warning, just to beware. You don't want to have to concede a goal, and all of a sudden, you know, with then 5 minutes to go, you get another one, and then all of a sudden, from a position of absolute supremacy, it's 3-2, and it's, you know, it's in extra time, and Perth get a corner. So I can understand them now trying to close the back door and just hit them on the break, but they've got to keep doing that. And what I mean by keep doing that is keep providing a goal threat. Okay, they're going to keep providing a goal threat. In terms of Perth, so far as I'm concerned, I'd rather go down 5 goals and then sit back and just sort of say, you know what, they need to throw the kitchen sink at Western Sydney Wanderers and have a right go at them, because you never know.
We've seen some remarkable games already this season. Some effort for Perth to turn this one around. Yeboah is looking a real threat, and nearly gifted possession there by Ingham. Dorrans with a clever header to Bacchus, who made a shaky start to this game, Keanu Bacchus, but has been immense since. Trying to guarantee himself a spot in that Ollie Roos squad bound for Tokyo later this year. We all hope, of course, for the Olympics. 18-man squad to be picked by Graham Arnold. The Matildas will be going to the Olympics again as well. Kamau slipped as he passed, but it worked out, and that would have been some way for Yeboah to score a goal if that had come off his left boot and flown in. The referee stops play to give the card to Neil Kilkenny for something a little earlier. Coming all the way back for a free kick to the Wanderers for this, off the ball. Good awareness from the referee to spot that, and no advantage really accrued, so don't mind that from Daniel Elder. Took a little while to work out what had happened, Robbie, but it's not.
We got it in the end.
Not a bad call. His voice heard over the top of the RBB. It was easy for the keeper. Tate Russell able to use his speed to get across ahead of Armiento. Now taking off the other way, Tate Russell. What an athlete, and Yeboah was trying to find him. Have proved tough to hold out in second halves this season. 17 of their 21 goals now scored after the break. Ziggy Gordon, and he pushes on. Released by Russell. Look at Ziggy Gordon go. How's the delivery? Finds the feet of Yeboah. He'll keep it in here. Very popular Scottish defender. Bacchus just spreads it wide. Wilmering for Kamau. Those two have a wonderful understanding, as we've seen this season. In the end, the numbers in white won out. Imminent again for Western Sydney. More attacking talent off their star-studded bench. Ingham's trying to make things happen, and in the end, a little ricochet nearly squeezed in at that near post. But here comes Nikolai Muller now for the Wanderers.
Well, he made the space there, Ingham, to get the cross in, and came inside, and there's too many bodies. Troisi, good game from him. His night is over. And, you know, as the minutes tick away, it's just difficult to see where it's going to come from Perth.
He's all smiles, Carl Robinson. I posed the question when they started this run of 4 games out of 5 at home. Does he know what his number 1 11 is? Does he know what his number 1 strike force is? Looks like he does know.
He does now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's getting productivity off the bench as well, and they're going to push. So I think we once mentioned this is too much attacking talent. Well, the thing is, you have to settle on who you're going to play, and then it's up there to the other ones to try and force a change.
It shows the depth they've got now. Simon Cox hasn't had a minute last week or tonight. Tas Murtakutis looks like he'll play in the NPL. He was a starter at the beginning of the campaign in that back 3. So great depth for the Wanderers at the moment. Of course, they'll be hoping they can stay injury-free and mount a real title challenge this season. Because it's been tough since Popper left, of course. To Perth and guided them to silverware and a grand final. Bruno Fornaroli can get ready for Sydney FC next Wednesday. Kieran Bramwell, the youngster, gets another chance. 3rd A-League appearance for the teenager. Bramwell. It's down to McGowan. Waller hasn't got into the game as yet. Ball is just eluding him at the moment, the German international. Ingham is looking for Castro. It's a pretty tight window. Now Muller has possession. Dragged back by Ingham.
Well, the game's a bit flat, and that's quite simple because Wanderers executed early in this second half to take that 3-0 lead, and you know they've been comfortable in spite of sitting back at times. Perth just haven't been good enough to break them down.
Lovely ball again by Bacchus, showcased the range of his passing. Oh, what a ball from Wilmering! He's found Kamau again.
Super ball. I'm not sure what Kamau's saying. He maybe changed his mind halfway as that ball was coming across. Maybe tried to pull it down, but looked like he got caught in 2 minds.
Feels like we've turned back the clock a good 4 or 5 years. The way the RBB are into it, the way the Wanderers are playing on their home deck tonight, Robbie. Must excite the Wanderers faithful.
Well, they have to be happy with the last couple of games, that's for sure. And the position on the table. That's a poor pass.
Marcus waited for Yeboah to make his move, and he's picked him out again, bent it around Bodnar. Yeboah! Oh, he was unselfish at the end of it all, and can't believe Muller wasn't there. He'd made his run to the back post.
Well, the defender did well to get back. He could have been selfish there. That was an acute angle, but he should have put his boot right through that, because Muller was covered. Great little action there to get around the defender, Bodnar, who's had a difficult evening.
Bacchus's passing has been sublime. Clever little touch by Bramwell. Castro tried to keep it going, and McGowan stepped up. The captain of Western Sydney. Castro still trying to get his boots sorted. Lost it inside the area, so VAR would have had a quick look to see how he lost it. Didn't look like there were too many appeals for a spot kick. Now Castro's ready to join in again, and Steins will use him. In the road, another important block by the Wanderers defensively. What control. Yeboah brought it down on the chest. And Wilmering doesn't shank one too often. Slaps his hands in frustration, but like he's playing a video game at times when he gets forward and sees Kamau. He just presses the button and the ball just finds its way to his teammate. It's uncanny. Sat out a year of football after doing his ACL, and was pretty confident he'd get back into that starting lineup, and hasn't taken him long at all to solidify that left wing-back role. I think he's drifted into the enemy half there. Yeboah's around ready. There's an empty net. He's teased the keeper back into it, and the offside flag does come, so he didn't want to waste it perhaps, well, but that was a little too cheap.
I don't think he was thinking about not wasting it. He should have just slid that one home. But he was well offside. He was trying to stay in his own half, and he just went a step too early into the second half. But he's looking sharp, and his form's looking so much better than it did 6 weeks ago.
Of course, you can't be offside if you
in your own half.
In your own half, and he was a little careless not to stay in there.
Well, I think he was on the front foot, so he's always going to. He was leaning. He expected that ball just to go a little bit quicker.
Substitution window left for Western Sydney to prepare a final double change here as Dorrans gives up the corner. Here's a look there. There's Yeboah. No Perth defenders in that half, and he was. Armiento near post. Yeboah was guarding that. And forced to go all the way back to Latchman. Oh, Dorrans dragging it out of the sky with a bit of class. Yeboah again finds Muller on this occasion. Risky back heel attempted by Armiento. Allows Tate Russell to earn a corner. No, not quite. Stayed in for Reddy. Mark Bosnich, the Wanderers are going second with a bullet. How far can they go this season?
Well, So far as I'm concerned, I mean, we watched this club from its initial birth, and when they had that absolutely fantastic time. Let's let this go, but
Castro squaring it for Steins. Again, the desperation block by Bacchus this time. Quickly back to his feet, juggling his way over one. And they're a little tired, the attacking trio, to make their run. So Bacchus is making one. And Muller overhit it. Back to you, boss.
yeah, you know, the conception of the club with the Tony Popovich's time, that wonderful success that they had, and culminating in the fact that they become Asian champions. You know, you always try to shy away from making big predictions, but I'm starting to get a similar feeling that I did in that inaugural season when they first started. There's something really special starting to go on here, and you can sense it with the crowd as well.
There's some big teams firing at the moment. Melbourne City are in great form. The Mariners, of course, are top of the tree. The Wanderers are breathing down their necks all of a sudden. Just one win behind. If this result holds, we're only 5 minutes away, more so from that. Kamau, gliding in between a couple, went down too easily. Still waiting for that double change to be executed here. There's no stoppage for a while. Miento v Russell again.
Well, this has been the pattern of the second half. Perth have had a lot of the ball in these areas, and Wanderers have defended deep at times, but they've defended well. Perth just haven't been. It's one of those games, and they may yet get a goal, but
awkward for Gordon facing his own goal after a wicked delivery from Ingham.
It's one of those games where Perth look like they could play for a very, very long time and maybe not get one. They're still trying. Yeah, Ingham should have played Castro there. Castro's not happy. He's cutting a very frustrated figure. If the Wanderers want to go here, they can, but
finally, the stoppage. It's a tough score at the Wanderers. Jordan March scores in back-to-back games, and the coach says, have a rest. Go back to the bench. I'll give you a late cameo in this game. Another reinforcement of the depth that this club has this season. A man with Premier League experience, a lot of it. And remember, at the start of the campaign, it was Tom Aquilina who was getting a great run of games at left wing-back. But Daniel Wilmering has taken over as first choice. He gets the last couple of minutes here, does Aquilina. Bacchus now trying to flick it around the corner towards Yeboah. Bosnich said he was sensing something special about the Wanderers. Robbie Slater, what do you feel about Western Sydney this season?
yeah, well, they're in a good position, and there's a long way to go. So there's a lot of games, as you just mentioned, there's a lot of time teams in good form, but they're certainly headed in the right direction, aren't they? In the last 2 weeks, last 2 games rather.
They had lost back-to-back home games at the start of this little streak.
That's what I mean. It's you know, it's the last 2 games have been super, and it needed to be. They needed a couple of wins at home, and it does make a massive difference. You can hear the crowd. You mentioned it before, and for that man, Richard Garcia, you know, he'll have to go back to Perth and look to capitalise on a couple of home games themselves.
Battle won by Timmins. was determined. Aquilina copped a late challenge there from Dane Ingham, and the card is coming out. New Zealand international can't quite believe the sanction. Third Glory player booked this evening, along with Sullivan and Kilkenny. Big weekend of A-League action coming up. The Wanderers can sit back and watch the doubleheader tomorrow. Macarthur FC against Western United, then a big blue across town at Cogra. And a doubleheader coming up on Sunday. Wellington against Brisbane and Newcastle against Adelaide United. Both of those games, of course, at the same venue. That historic doubleheader coming up at McDonald Jones Stadium on Sunday afternoon. A lot of games being played in New South Wales. You could see a bit of rain across this A-League weekend. And the Mariners, top of the table, take on Melbourne City at Amy Park on Monday night. How good are these 4-day weekends in the A-League? And then we'll have a rest day, and Perth will be back in action again against Sydney FC. A little nibble from Tate Russell. Chance for a consolation goal here very late for the Glory. Numbers committed forward. Bodnar on the move. Miento delivers, away by much. He's one of the tallest players out there, Jordan Much. Handy weapon at both ends on the set piece front. Ingham's in behind him here, and Natta gets his body in the road. It's been a key to keeping a clean sheet tonight. Some of the body positioning of the back three for Western Sydney. Ziggy Gordon with one outstanding block. Natta has had his moments. Dylan McGowan has been immense tonight. They've worked a lot on their defence during the week. Castro has left it behind. For the first time since 2017, Western Sydney beat the Perth Glory, and they have done so emphatically. Mitch Duke with a double, James Troisi with a tap in, and things are looking up for the Wanderers this season. They're up to second after taking 6 points out of 6 in the space of 5 days. That epic against Wellington, 4-3 win on Monday night, and a much more comfortable 3-0 success in Friday night football.
Gentlemen, Western Sydney Wanderers, 3-0 and convincing winner, or winners, over Perth Glory here tonight. In a game, to be fair to them, if it wasn't for a bit of bad luck with some offside decisions and for Liam Reddy, they could have been won by a lot more. Massive test for them, but coming up next Friday against a banging form Melbourne City side, who themselves play Central Coast Mariners, the league leaders, on Monday. But that was a fantastic win. And now to join us, one of the stars of tonight, James Troisi. Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yep.
Congratulations tonight. It's one of the, you have to say, probably the best performances this season.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's good. When we play like that, it's exciting, and you see how many chances we can create, and you know it could have been a lot more than the score sheet tonight.
Yes, it could have been, and much better start as well, James. I mean, I've been talking about this with your manager, you know, during the interviews, and with a lot of people. Some of the starts that you have continually put yourself behind the 8 ball. But even though tonight Perth probably had their best period during that time, it was still a better start by you guys.
Yeah, it was. You know, like you said, we've been giving ourselves mountains to climb. We've still been dangerous and been coming back, but most importantly, you keep a clean sheet. With our attacking line, we're going to score goals.
In terms of the team spirit, what's that like behind closed doors?
There you go, Juki does what he wants. No, it's fantastic. Like I said, mate, we've won 3 on the trot. I think most importantly tonight is we played some fantastic football. So if we continue on this way, you know, we're going to be very, very dangerous.
And let's talk about some of those bits of football which are absolutely fantastic. You had a major part in 2 of the goals, but let's talk about the goal you scored. I think all of us, I don't know about yourself, thought that maybe that, well, the offside flag did go up, that it was going to be disallowed, or did you think different?
Well, I knew Bernie wasn't offside, and I knew I wasn't offside.
Oh,
so,
well, there you go.
You know what? Like I said, the most important thing is we're creating the chances. We're taking them. You know, 3 goals, but it could have been a lot more. I think for me the most encouraging thing is the football we played tonight. We were really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, some fantastic play, fantastic opportunities. So that's the most exciting thing and rewarding thing. You know, it's fantastic to come out on a Friday night or wherever it may be and play really good quality football. It's good for us. It's good for the fans.
Exactly right. That was one of the best finishes I've ever seen. I was only joking.
I'll take it, mate.
Thank you very much, James. Congratulations.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
There we go. And Mitchell Duke, we've got Robbie Slater's just joined us up here as well. He was absolutely, there's so many star performers tonight. Mitchell Duke was right up there, Robbie, you have to say.
Absolutely brilliant. Match-winning performance for me from Mitchell Duke. He's so often from the front line starts that pressing, that enthusiasm, lots of energy, and yeah, he's playing with ultimate confidence at the moment. He got himself 2 goals, could quite easily had a hat-trick.
No doubt about that. And while we're talking about Mitchell Duke, we've got another one of the star performers from tonight from the other side of the pitch, Ziggy Gordon, who's about to join us. Ziggy, thanks for joining us tonight. Great win.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for all the boys. The dedication, the heart that you saw the other day against Wellington, you know, it shone through today, and I think we thoroughly deserved all 3 goals. You know, we could have even had a few more.
Now, listen, when you talk about, you know, attacking performances, and we just spoke to James Troisi, and it was a fabulous attacking performance, no doubt about that. But there were some moments in that second half, and I was waiting. I was actually sort of thinking to myself, let's see how they handle this. When Perth did put you under pressure, and it could have made it a little bit tricky towards the end, but there were some great moments, and we saw one of them with that great block that you did against Andy Keogh. Those moments are so important, often much overlooked during a game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they do their job at that side of the pitch, and that's our job, and I thrive on that. I thrive on last-ditch defending, and so does the rest of the boys. You know, we're just getting the feel of it, and now that's another clean sheet, and, you know, we just want more and more.
Well, as they say, Ziggy, strikers win games.